Hello and welcome to Tara's Kitchen with Pixel's Mom. Today we will be making a vegan apple cake. The origin of this cake was from Poland. This cake will be at about 10 minutes of prep time, cooks for 1 hour, so our total time for this recipe is 1 hour and 10 minutes. It'll be set at a 350 degree temperature. For this recipe we are going to need a plant oat milk. You will need sugar, vegetable oil, flour, baking powder, cinnamon, pinch of salt, 4 to 5 medium apples, and sugar to sprinkle on top once the cake has been put together. So let's set it up and get started with the wet ingredients. Okay, our first steps to make our wet ingredient are to put the 1 cup of the plant milk in the bowl. And then we're going to add our 3/4 cups of sugar. And then we will add the 1/4 cup of vegetable oil. And we will mix that all together. And then we'll get ready to put the dry ingredients in. And I'll be right back. Now that I have stirred together the milk, oil, and sugar, it is time for me to add the 2 cups of flour, the baking powder, the cinnamon, and a pinch of salt. And then we're going to make sure we put that and combine it together very thoroughly. This may take a couple minutes, so we'll be right back. Now that I have 2 of the apples all cored and peeled, it is time to put them into small chunks and to add them to our batter, which I have all incorporated right over here in this bowl. So I'm going to start cutting these up and put them into small chunks and add them to my batter. Okay, I have cut up my apples into small pieces. My apples were a little small, so I did add 1 extra one. So instead of the 2 apples that it says on the recipe, I did add 3. And then you're going to gently fold it into the batter and pour it into the cake pan, which you will be using a springform cake pan, and it will be lined with parchment paper to keep the cake from sticking. So let's put this together, fold all that in nicely. Another tip, do not over mix your batter. It'll become gummy if you do. Just a heads up there. I read that in the recipe and I wanted to share that with you. Now that our recipe is pretty much combined, I'm going to get ready to grab the pan and put it in the oven. It's going to bake, as I said, for approximately 1 hour at the 350 temperature degree. Okay, I have the apples presented on top of the cake. This is what the whole thing is going to look like. As I did say, it's going to be cooking in the oven for 1 hour at 350 degrees. When it's all done, I'll bring it out and show you how it looks. Alrighty folks, the cake has been taken out of the oven. As you can see, it looks very yummy. You might want to let it cool down just a little bit longer than I did before I cut it. However, it looks wonderful and it smells terrific. I like the little pattern that the apples on the top made. And I did take a liberty of adding a little bit of sugar to give it a nice crunch. You know what I got to do? Let me give it a taste and see how it came out. Wow. I will say this much, very moist and very appley and cinnamony. This is a cake that I really truly like. I enjoy apple and cinnamon flavors, and I overall think this was a success. Like I said, you may want to wait a little longer than the 45 minutes I gave it to cool down. It should have been about an hour or so. But as you can see, there was no harm done to the cake, and it looks beautiful. Thank you so much for joining me today on my channel, and I hope everyone has a wonderful day, and that you all come back for my next video. And take care, y'all.